Hello again and welcome back. Congratulations, you've made it to step 6, the title company. For a quick review, the buyer and seller have reached an agreement. The buyer is ready to take possession of the home and move in. But before the buyer can move in, the purchase offer needs to be processed. A title commitment issued and a closing must take place to transfer the ownership. Here in St. Louis, it is sent to a title company for processing. In your area, it may be an escrow company or a real estate attorney. So what is a title company and what is their role in the sale and purchase of real estate? That's a good question. And lucky you, that's today's subject. We'll get into it right after this. Hi, I'm Bob Weibrecht, a Missouri licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty Gundaker in St. Louis, Missouri. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell icon for insights and tips into the residential real estate market. I publish new videos every Wednesday, and you don't want to miss a thing. So what is a title company? What do they do? The title company is a neutral third party that processes the property deed and title on behalf of the parties involved. They will verify the seller has the right to sell the property to the buyer and there are no outstanding financial commitments on the property. Additionally, the title company will record the deed with public records and issue a title to the buyer. Okay, I'm sure you're wondering, what is the deed and what is the title? Briefly put, the deed is what transfers the ownership from one person to the next. It is recorded with the county courthouse or the assessor's office. The title, on the other hand, is a legal term that refers to ownership. It describes a person's legal right to use and modify a property as they see fit. It's more of a conceptual item. So who contacts the title company and what documents does the title company need? These are great questions. Here in the St. Louis real estate market, the seller's agent typically gives the purchase agreement and all related documents to the title company to start the process, while the buyer agent provides these documents to the buyer's title company along with the buyer's lender's contact information. These title companies may or may not be the same company. So what documents does the title company need? For the seller, the title company needs the purchase offer and all related documents and the mortgager information if there's a home loan on the property, any liens known to the seller, and any receipts for major work done in the past year to start with. Other documents may be required, such as death certificates, beneficiary deeds, child support documents, just to mention a few. For a complete list of documents required, check with the title company or whomever is closing the sale. What does the title company do for the seller? The title company will work on behalf of the seller by performing a title search to determine the property is clear of any liens and is eligible for sale by the selling party. This is referred to as a title abstract. Verify the purchase offer documents and any related documents required for the closing. Coordinate the closing process, ensuring all parties involved have the appropriate documents. Ensure the safe handling and distribution of funds and documents. Handle the paperwork with relevant government agencies and all parties involved are served with proper closing documents. So what exactly does the title company search for when they examine the title or the title abstract? They search the public records for any issues that may be a defect or clouds on the title, such as any gaps in ownership where the owner during a specified time is not known. Outstanding mortgages. In most cases, the home or property being purchased is not owned free and clear by the seller. Any mortgages need to be paid off at closing so the title can be transferred to the buyer. Existing liens, such as mechanic liens for work done that has not been paid, or unpaid homeowner association or HOA dues, or any judgments against the buyer or seller, any unpaid property tax liens. These will need to be paid prior to closing so the property can be transferred to the buyer. Easements. An easement or agreements that allow someone else to use the property for a specific purpose, such as a utility company to access the utility lines, for example. Restrictions. Restrictions on a property that the transfer of ownership may cause a problem with. An example of a restriction would be a young family wishing to purchase a property at a 55 and older community. Property survey, if required by the buyer or lender. The purpose of the survey is to locate any potential encroachments onto or off of the property. An example of an encroachment would be a building, a fence, a retaining wall, or anything that crosses the property line, either onto or off of the property in question. Any issues discovered during the title abstract will need to be corrected or addressed prior to closing. This usually will be the responsibility of the seller. Any issues discovered will need to be addressed promptly because these issues could take time to correct, which may result in a delay in closing. Once any issues have been addressed and resolved, the title company will issue a title commitment. Now, being the astute person you are, you're probably wondering what's the difference between title commitment and title insurance. Good for you, that's a very good question. The major difference between the two is that the title commitment is issued prior to the closing, and all items listed on the schedule must be satisfied before closing. When the closing occurs, the title insurance policy, which protects the buyer and lender against property claims, is issued. A common question I receive here in the St. Louis market is how long does it take to close on a home after the purchase offer is accepted? Typically it takes about 30 days to close if the buyer is getting the normal inspections, title work, survey work, a mortgage, and an appraisal here. This question is usually followed by how long does it take to close on a house if the buyer is paying all cash? Typically, these closings are much less than 30 days, especially if the buyers do not get an appraisal to verify the market value of the home. This is something most agents do not recommend. Why is that? Most people do not like to overpay for anything, and if the market turns and the new owner is forced to sell, well, the loss may be significant to them. So what does the title company charge to close the seller? Title company fees for their services can vary from company to company, from location to location. The fees can vary depending on what title company services are included. Typical closing fees to the seller may include the title company closing fee, the transfer tax or recording fee to the local government, a closing protection letter that covers the distribution of funds at closing, an exchange and handling fee, just to mention a few. Check with a reputable title closing company for a list of their fees, and yes, the seller can shop around for closing company charges. So what happens next? Since the seller and buyer have reached an agreement and the paperwork has been sent to the respective title companies, the due diligence process begins. So now you know about the sixth step in buying a home, the title company, but do you know about the seventh step, the final details? Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about the home selling process or moving to the St. Louis area, just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and press that bell icon. I'll see you in step 7, the final details.